Welcome to Illuminate. So illuminate.google.com/explore. Illuminate is an experimental technology that uses AI to adapt content to your learning preferences. And I have VPN. I don't know if this is available in countries outside of the US. So chain of thought prompting, let me listen to this.
Here's a paper titled Chain of Thought Prompting Elicits Reasoning in Large Language Models. Let's talk about it.
This is interesting. It's a prompting method for eliciting
Okay, that's nice. Let me start generating. So I'm gonna take this DeepSeek's paper, Native Sparse Attention. I think this is one of the most valuable paper that exists right now, to be honest. Okay, and let me press this and then generate. So I feel like Google is trying many different ideas, tools. Some of them are similar, so they will find the best ones. Okay, let's see what we got.
Step reasoning.
Oh, no, this is different. Okay, let me go here.
This conversation is powered by Google Illuminate. Check out illuminate.google.com for more. So we're talking about making AI faster and smarter, right? But what if we could do it without sacrificing performance?
That's the holy grail, isn't it? Speed and accuracy, hand in hand.
Exactly. And this paper, Native Sparse Attention, claims to do just that.
It's all about optimizing how AI models pay attention to information.
Intriguing. So less computation, more results. Let's dive in. So the big problem is long context modeling, right? Handling huge amounts of text. It's a real challenge.
Standard attention mechanism.
I really like this. So I really like it. So if we go back to generate, we have formal, casual, guided, free form. You can choose between these. You can type your prompt. I really like this though. I really like this. Explore. Attention is all you need, the famous paper. So if I go here.
Let's unpack a paper titled Attention is All You.
And assigns them different weights, kind of like voting for the most important words in the context. The really cool part is that these weights are learned by the model during training.
So it's a bit like the model.
Let's check this out.
So that's right. There is a Gemini Ultra, Pro, and Nano. These models share the same core architecture but differ in size, similar to Palm 2, to serve.
Let me check this one. Okay, I'm just randomly.
The authors of this May 2024 paper lay out a framework for classifying the abilities and actions of artificial general intelligence, AGI, models and the steps leading up to them.
That's a cool way to think about it.
Simple coding, but they're still at emerging performance levels for other tasks like complex math problems or tasks requiring factuality.
That makes sense. I can see how this framework could really change how we talk about AGI. But what about the risks you mentioned?
Yes. Risk is a big part of the discussion. Each level of AGI comes with its own set of risks. For example, at the lower levels, it's more about human misuse of the technology, like spreading misinformation. But as we move up to the expert and virtuoso levels, we start to worry about things like job displacement and even the potential for the AI to act in ways we didn't intend.
That sounds a bit scary. How do we address these risks?
The authors argue that it's not just about the AI's abilities, but also how we interact with it. They propose different levels of autonomy, from AI as a tool where we're in full control to AI as an agent where it can act on its own. By thinking about both the AI's capabilities and how we use it, we can make smarter choices about how to deploy these systems safely.
This is all super interesting. I'm starting to see how this framework could be a game changer.
Let's see this one.
Ready to break down some research? This paper, Large Language Models Encode Clinical Knowledge, explores how well large language
setting, that's a pretty big deal.
Exactly. And the paper introduces the.
Okay, so I can ask a question.
This new benchmark called Multimed QA to test these models. Could you tell us more about that?
Right. Multimed QA is this super cool benchmark that combines a bunch of different medical question answering data sets. Some are from professional medical exams, some are from research papers, and some are even questions that people search for online. It's like a big test to see how well these models understand different types of medical questions.
That's interesting. And I see they tested a model called Flawn Palm on this benchmark. How'd it do?
Flawn Palm did exceptionally well on the multiple choice questions, achieving state-of-the-art accuracy on all of them, even beating out some other really strong models. On MedQA, which is like a test for doctors in the US, it beat the previous best model by over 17%.
Wow, that does sound impressive. But I guess multiple choice questions are just one part of the picture. What about more open-ended questions, like the ones people might
The
ask their
voice
doctor?
is so
The
realistic.
paper mentions that Flawn Palm's performance on open-ended questions revealed some gaps that need to be addressed.
That makes sense. Medicine is a complex field, and there is a high bar for safety. So, how did the researchers try to address this issue?
They came up with this clever technique called instruction prompt tuning. Basically, it's a way to fine tune the model with just a few examples of good medical answers. It's like giving the model a crash course in how to give safe and helpful medical advice. The model that came out of this tuning was called MedPalm.
MedPalm, huh? And did that improve things?
It did. MedPalm's answers were a lot better than Flawn Palm's. They were more in line with what doctors would say and less likely to be harmful. It's a really cool example of how we can make these models safer and more useful for medical applications.
That's reassuring to hear, but I imagine there's still a lot of work to be done before we can trust these models in a real clinical setting, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. This paper is just a first step. We need to develop better ways to evaluate these models, especially when it comes to things like bias and fairness. And we need to keep fine tuning them to make sure they're giving accurate and helpful information to everyone.
Definitely. Sounds like there's a lot of exciting potential.
Yeah, this is so interesting. It's so good. I really like it. I will probably be using it, to be honest. Maybe in some paper reviews. This is so good. Okay, maybe in the future videos, we're gonna listen to a paper review done by this. We have from books as well. Don Quixote, let's go. It's maybe generated.
Here's a book titled Don Quixote. Let's talk about it.
Don Quixote is an interesting book written by Miguel de Cervantes, and it was first published in 1605. It's considered one of the most important works of Spanish literature and a foundational novel in the Western literary canon.
What is the book about?
The book tells the story of Alonso Quijano, an elderly gentleman from La Mancha who becomes obsessed with chivalric romances. He decides to become a knight errant himself, adopting the name Don Quixote de la Mancha, and sets out on a series of adventures with his squire, Sancho Panza.
What are some of the key themes explored in the book?
The book explores a wide range of themes, including the nature of reality, the power of imagination, the relationship between literature and life, the conflict between idealism and pragmatism, and the social and cultural changes taking place in Spain during the early modern period.
Can you elaborate on the theme of reality versus imagination?
Don Quixote's adventures are often driven by his distorted perception of reality, as he sees windmills as giants, inns as castles, and ordinary people as knights and damsels in distress. This highlights the power of imagination to shape our experiences and the potential dangers of confusing fantasy with reality.
How does the book address the relationship between literature and life?
Don Quixote is a metafictional work that constantly comments on the act of storytelling and the role of literature in shaping our understanding of the world. Cervantes uses the character of Don Quixote to satirize the conventions of chivalric romances and to explore the complex relationship between fiction and reality.
What about the conflict between idealism and pragmatism?
Don Quixote is an idealist who believes in the chivalric code of honor, justice, and courtly love. Sancho Panza, on the other hand, is a pragmatist who is primarily concerned with practical matters like food, money, and comfort. Their contrasting perspectives create a dynamic tension throughout the book as they navigate the challenges and absurdities of their adventures.
There is going to be a bit of a spoiler around 2 minutes from now. They're gonna say how this book ends, just to warn you.
How does the book reflect the social and cultural changes of its time?
Don Quixote provides a vivid portrait of 17th century Spain, capturing the social hierarchies, economic disparities, and cultural shifts of the period. The decline of feudalism, the rise of the middle class, and the changing role of the church are all reflected in the book's characters and events.
Can you discuss the significance of the character of Don Quixote?
Don Quixote is a complex and multifaceted character who has been interpreted in various ways throughout history. He is seen as a tragic figure who is deluded by his fantasies, a comic figure who is mocked for his eccentricities, and a heroic figure who embodies the ideals of chivalry and romance. His enduring appeal lies in his ability to resonate with readers on multiple levels, inviting both laughter and empathy.
What about Sancho Panza? What role does he play in the story?
Sancho Panza is Don Quixote's loyal squire and a foil to his master's idealism. He is a down-to-earth, practical man who is motivated by simple pleasures and material gain. His witty proverbs, humorous observations, and unwavering loyalty to Don Quixote make him one of the most beloved characters in literature.
How does the relationship between Don Quixote and Sancho Panza evolve throughout the book?
Their relationship is one of the most enduring and endearing in literature. Initially, Sancho is drawn to Don Quixote by the promise of wealth and power, but as their adventures progress, he develops a genuine affection and respect for his master. Don Quixote, in turn, learns to appreciate Sancho's wisdom and loyalty, and their bond deepens as they face the challenges and absurdities of their journey together.
Can you discuss the book's impact on a literary world?
Don Quixote is considered a landmark in the development of the modern novel. Its innovative use of narrative techniques, its complex characters, and its exploration of universal themes have influenced countless writers and artists over the centuries. It is also credited with helping to bring about the decline of chivalric romances and paving the way for new forms of storytelling.
What are some of the book's most memorable scenes or episodes?
There are many memorable scenes in the book, but some of the most famous include Don Quixote's tilting at windmills, his encounter with the Yanguizan muleteers, his battle with the Biscayan squire, his descent into the cave of Montesinos, and his governorship of the island of Barteria. These episodes showcase the book's humor, its social commentary, and its exploration of the human condition.
How does the book end?
In the end, Don Quixote renounces his chivalric delusions and returns home, where he dies a disillusioned but peaceful death. His death marks the end of an era and the triumph of reason over fantasy.
What is the lasting legacy of Don Quixote?
Don Quixote continues to be read and enjoyed by people all over the world. Its timeless themes, its unforgettable characters, and its enduring humor have made it a classic that transcends cultural and historical boundaries. It is a book that speaks to the human condition in all its complexity.
Okay, I really like this. Let's see what we got in my, not here, in Explore, in the books, Crime and Punishment, Frankenstein, Art of War. Yo, I have to see this one, Art of War. These are so interesting. It's so interesting. Maybe we can add our own show all. There is more. No, this is it. Okay, for now, thank you for watching. You can check my videos. I'm gonna make some of these videos. Listen to this. So maybe dream psychology or something. So see you next time.